What's up, divas, and what's up, divos? It's your girl April, and it is Real Talk Wednesday. I know the background looks a little bit shabby. Like, I got a lot going on. I have a lot going on, like my son and his girlfriend and my grandson, they left yesterday. They went back to New York. They just did not like it here in sunny Arizona. I'm not really sure why, but you know what? You gotta let them go and live and learn on their own. So, they had an apartment for a month and they moved back with me, so they left yesterday. So I've had a lot going on. I had to like revamp my house, redo it, like re-clean it, like scrub and clean everything because of the mess that was left behind. But anyway, so yes, Real Talk Wednesdays. If you have an issue, need advice or whatever, you can always hit me up at MuffinIsMyLovers2012@gmail.com. Please put in the subject line Real Talk, so that way I know it is not like a crazy wild stalker. No, I'm just joking, but I know that it's serious business, so I will get right to you. And for those of you who have been wondering where the hell I've been at for the past month with Real Talk, I did post one last week, and I was kind of hiatus. I was busy. I'm busy. So that's why I stopped for a month to take a break. So now I'm back, and we're going to get this thing popping and started. The hair that I'm wearing is actually an Olds wig, which is one of my favorite. I own 4 of these babies, 2 in this color and 2 in 1B, and this is Fab Fringe by Sensational Bump. So she's human hair. She's super cheap. She's like 27, 25 bucks. You can get her from Elevate Styles. I'll post a link for you below. It's the cheapest place I've seen it, but I absolutely love her. So she's human hair, so like you can really style her. She's the bomb wig. Okay, I did a tutorial on her like years ago, but I still wear her. She gives me like that sexy short vibe. So this is like the really shortest wig that I like. Or no, there is another one, and I'll probably wear that one in a few days so you guys can see. But anyway, so let's get this Real Talk video started so I don't keep rambling on. Ladies, so we're going to call this young lady here Fab Fringe. No, we can't call her that. Let's just call her Fab. Okay, so where do I begin? Me and my soon-to-be husband have been together for 6 years. When we first got together, things moved fast. As time went on, we have decided that we wanted to do better, to better ourselves and go to college. Now, a lot of things have changed, and we are now out on our own, just me and him. I feel like he is the only person I have. No family, no friends. I don't talk to my family, I guess because to them I act white or do not tolerate their bullshit, and I want what's best for me and him. Well, we graduated college and neither of us work in our career field. He has an okay thing going for him right now, which could potentially turn into something better. Okay, what I'm getting to is, what about me? I want to better myself. I want a family. I want a decent paying job, but I just can't seem to get anything going for myself. Nobody will give me an opportunity at any jobs. Now, what's interesting is we work together, so we spend 99% of the time together, but sometimes I feel like it's too much. At times, I feel like I want to go back to school, but don't want to waste 2 years again or owe the government more money than I owe them right now. I love my fiance, I really do, but at times I feel like I'm not in love with him. Honestly, without him, I don't know where I would be. At times, I want to say forget everything and just settle and have babies, even though we can't afford that. But I want to make something out of myself, but I feel like I will never be anything. Now, he has told me he will support me 100% in what I want to do. But I know financially he can, but then again, it will be really, really hard. And all of his money would go straight to bills and absolutely nothing else. And I mean being 100% broke. I would love to better my education in a bigger city, but we can't afford to move. And then us having to find a job with no money saved. We have no credit, which we will be trying to build this year. We live check to check. I feel like I need to find myself at times. I see myself failing or feeling sorry for myself or falling. What would you do, April, in mine or our shoes? Well, Fab, she seems like she's in a rut and she's just kind of confused. And sometimes, let me tell you something, when you work paycheck to paycheck and you really don't know what you want to do with yourself, it gets to be overwhelming and very stressful. I feel that way sometimes, because I don't have a job. After November, I stopped working because of racial slurs at my job. So I didn't have a job. I did have a temp job. But you know what? I decided, I'm just going to better my business, my home business, which is doing wigs, creating wigs, doing custom wigs for people, making wigs, and just working on my website, which has panned out for me and has worked out for me. So, that's what I do to source my income. Amongst other things, I do promote other companies, and I just do things outside of the internet. Oh, well, not outside the internet, but it all has to do with the internet. You know what I'm saying? It has to do with the internet. So that's my source of income, and that's how I do things. But you know what? When you live by paycheck to paycheck, it is really hard because there are things out there that you see that you want and you really can't get. Or you know that you put in your mind, like, I got bills to pay, I got bills to pay. And sometimes, even if you're not living paycheck to paycheck, and you have to think that mind state anyway, like I live paycheck to paycheck, or I got bills to pay. So you can save your money. I used to always like just complain to my friends or the friends that I did have, oh, I'm broke. She would always tell me, you're not broke, you got money saved. Like, yeah, I do have money stashed in the bank account. I do. But it was my mindset to just feel like I'm broke, because if I feel like I got all this money to spend, I'm not going to have none. I'm going to really be broke. You know what I'm saying? So my mindset was always to feel like I'm broke, because that way I won't spend no money on no unnecessary things. Or when I do spend money, I spend it frugally, and that way I am able to save and hold on to more and get better for my buck. But in your shoes, you want to go back to school, but you don't think that it's affordable because you don't want to owe the government more money and you won't be able to go to work. Have you ever thought, Fab, to do online classes? There are loads of colleges that are just strictly nothing but online, and that's a lot easier than actually going to a college itself. Like with my fiance, or if that's what you want to call him, because I'm going to get married. I'm almost finished my divorce. Had to go drop off some stuff today, so I'm almost finished that. But my soon-to-be new husband, he goes and does internet classes, online college classes. He does have a good job too, but he does online classes, so that way we're together more. But it's a lot easier. It is cheaper, but it's less stressful. You don't have to worry about being there in class and making it to class on time and yada, yada, yada. So maybe you should think about doing internet online classes. But I will tell you this, some people don't pass at it and some people do. Some people it's for and some people it's not for. So it all depends on you as a person. But I would say this, just like when I did at-home work and I worked for Amazon at home, I had to put my mind state to it. I woke up every morning and treated it as if it was an actual job that I went to. Unlike some people, it just doesn't work out for them like that. They won't get up, they won't feel motivated, they won't put that oomph into it, and they won't put in their time and hard work and dedication. So with that being said, with online classes, you have to do the same thing. You have to feel like you are going to an actual class because there is a person teaching you. You know what I'm saying? You have to put that dedication and that time and that effort and the hard work into it. So I would think to look into going to internet classes. You don't want to settle. Don't ever say you want to settle, because if you settle, you're never going to get ahead, and all you're going to continuously do is bitch, and complain and be paranoid about money. And while your husband or your soon-to-be husband is moving forward, here it is, Fab, you're stagnating and you're in the background while he's moving forward, and then you're going to sit there and say, well, I wish I could have, should have, and would have, or whatever the saying is, or what could have, would have, and should have, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Never feel like you're inferior to anyone. Never feel like you can't. Never feel like, oh, I'm going to settle. Settling is never going to get you anywhere. I've never settled. Maybe there was a time when I have with my husband, because I settled for the bullshit for 16 years. 16, 17 years, I settled for the bullshit with him until I finally was like, you know what, I've had enough. And I moved out of that state of New York and moved to Arizona and moved on with my life and went on with my life. So I settled for a little while, only because I felt like, you know what, that's my kid's father. But he's not all my kids' fathers. But it was my last two kids. But I settled for him for so long. I settled for the bullshit for so long. And it made me miserable. And it made me so unhappy. So never settle for anything. You know what I'm saying? We are all human and nobody's perfect. Some things take time. Some people take longer than others. But I would never say settle. Yes, life is a struggle and it'll all work out in the end. But you know what? Sometimes you got to go real hard at what you want to get what you want. It's not handed to you. You're not born with a silver spoon. At least I know I'm not, and I'm pretty sure you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Okay, there are some of those of us who are, lucky them. But you know what? You want something in life, you got to go hard and work for it. Never settle. Don't feel like a failure. Don't feel like, oh, I want to have babies and just be done with it. Having kids is an expensive thing, okay? If you think you broke now or you just living paycheck to paycheck, your ass going to really be broke, okay? So with a kid. With one kid, 2 kids, it doesn't matter. One kid is expensive just as 2 are, okay? You got to buy diapers, formula, whatever you need to buy, you got to buy, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I'm going to have some babies and then just be happy with it, because babies, yeah, they're nice and they're cute, but they're also very expensive, and they don't deserve to be here if they're not going to be taken care of the right way. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't ask to be here. So why don't you just look into classes that's online and try to find something that interests you. Yeah, I've been in that situation a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? I held off getting my GED for like years and years, and I finally got it, not finally like as anytime recent, but I got it like years and years and years and years ago. But it took me some time to get it, and I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off, until finally I said, you know what? Let me just do this, okay? Because I put it off long enough, and I finally did it. So I know the feeling. I never went to college, but you know what? I do think to myself, sometimes, should I go to college? I like to go back to school just for certain things. I may not be to better my career, but it just is to better myself, you know what I'm saying? So, and education is always a plus. You can always do a lot when you go to school, when you go back to school, you know what I'm saying? Further your education, you further your career, you know what I'm saying? You further the money in your pockets. But yeah, I've been there a lot of times. I've been broke sometimes too, you know what I'm saying? I think we have all been in that situation in life where we have been broke and have been stressed out over money, bills, and shit like that. Bills is something that is a monthly thing for everybody. We are not new to this, okay? And I do wish that there was some kind of money tree in my backyard growing to where I could just go pick it off the leaves and go shopping and spend money on whatever I want, but it doesn't happen that way. So, you know, I've been there. But I really think, Fab, that you need to better yourself and never fail. And never settle for anything. If your boyfriend, your fiance says he's going to support you 100%, then take him up on that. But as far as you guys working together, okay, yeah, that is a little bit much. 99% of the time you guys are together, that's a lot. Like, that's how I met my husband. My soon-to-be ex-husband. We worked together, and it became very tiring after a while. And thank God that we stopped working together, because I really don't want to see your face all the time. Like, I love you, or I loved you, but I really don't want to see your face all the time. So yeah, I could totally understand. Working together is a lot. Maybe you should find a job away from him, as well as look into going to school online, because you don't want the relationship to die. You said your soon-to-be husband, you're feeling like sometimes you're in love and sometimes you're not. You don't want the feelings to diminish before you get to the altar, girlfriend. But at least you have a job. Be happy with that. At least you have a job. And if you guys are at work so much together, try to spend some time apart from each other within after work hours. Find a hobby. Find something to do. Go to the library and take online classes. Go to the library and study. So that way you have time apart and you're able to miss him. But I would definitely look into the online classes, as well as try to find a job that pays outside of working with him. You know, it is hard to find a job these days. It is really hard with this economy, but at least you have a job. Just be thankful for that, and just try to work on your relationship, as well as try to find things that you can do on your own. Go into the library, studying, and things like that outside of the home, opposed to being around him 24/7, because that is a little bit much. Yes, Fab. So, divas and divos, let Fab know what you would do in this situation. Would you settle if you decided you wanted to better your education? Would you settle for less? I know in my shoes, I wouldn't. I always want something better for myself, because I like to be an inspiration to my kids or to anybody. So, you know, I like for them to look up to me. And settling is not going to make it easy in life. Nobody settles. Nobody settles. Even the rich don't settle. Okay? So leave all your opinions below. And like I said, if you want to hit me up, you can always email me at MuffinIsMyLovers2012@gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to do a real talk on you. As well as if you are interested in any custom wigs or already made wigs, you can always check out my website, Gone with the Wind Wigs, and I'll post that information below as well. So on that note, stay diva and divolicious, and I'll be back soon. Bye.